Tonight, hey, brother. Can you?
You are listening to the Doug Stanhope Podcast.
The potato peelings in the sink did not turn into vodka as I had hoped. I only start to need a drink after the liquor stores have closed. I heard you changed your name again, but don't you change your hair. It was the only thing I liked about you in the end. La la la.
We need Brett Erickson to start this, to kick this off. Carrie Mitchell's just saying her goodbyes. We are at the Jukebox Comedy Club in Peoria, Illinois, after a show that was just absolute perfect chaos. Like one of those shows where you're kind of in control and everything's going fucking haywire, but you know enough of the landscape where you go, I can fucking deal with this. I just don't know how at the time. And it was fucking beautiful. I've been working the Jukebox Comedy Club. I'm here with Brett Erickson. Don't worry, you can go piss. I'm setting it up. Brett Erickson, who's one of the fucking funniest comics. He's been on the podcast before. We've talked about, I've never seen anyone better with fucking violent crowd heckling. This club is a piece of shit. I mean, this town is a piece of shit. And you get the dumbest fucking crowds. Peoria, I used to talk about it. They changed the backdrop, but they used to have Sam Kinison and Richard Pryor portraits on either side, of the stage because they are both from here. And I would say when I'd come and play here in the early days, don't say they're from here. Say they left here, because that's the only reason they're famous, is they got the fuck out of this horrible town.
It's glass half empty, half full.
Yeah.
The positive spin is they left.
Yeah, salute them for leaving. And so the kids, Brett Erickson's kid and his fucking sorority friends are here. I don't know what they're doing. We get a live audience. The show was fucked from the outset. Dan, the owner, who is this nebbishy, weak, fucking shaky dude. He's not in the room yet. We're hoping to get him on the podcast to talk about this live. But right now, we'll talk behind his back.
Right now, he's cleaning the fucking cat shit out of his office.
Oh, really? He's not hitting on the last girl in the place? He's this guy that I said this on stage when he wasn't in the room. I didn't know he wasn't in the room. I was hoping he was. But from how long has it been? Brett Erickson is on mic now. Do you remember?
What, the first time you were here?
Yeah, like it's going to be at least 13 years. 04, no, because that poster is from 04. I was already established. That poster, the only thing on the wall in the green room is me and D.L. Hughley.
Yeah.
Or Hughley.
Well, that's because that poster was Schlissel made it. So
Yeah.
that's why there was,
But that wasn't my first time here. I had to be here for years before that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I remember right after 9/11 flying in here, and I lost my driver's license on the plane because I remember opening with, because you can't fly without ID. I go,
Right.
I'm
Except
going to
out
have
of
to
Peoria.
live here.
They'd have to get another mural.
Except out of Peoria, they actually just let you leave.
Well, you actually, you have to get, like, they ask you a bunch of questions, and they fucking get in a walkie-talkie, and they talk to a drone.
He seems okay.
All right,
Driving to
let's set up the shit first.
All right.
Okay.
Dan, this fucking nebbishy owner, that just he would sit around when I'd work here, early days, and he'd just fidget and twirl his thumbs and sweat and pet his brow and go, I hope we get people in here because I might lose money on this thing because I don't know. It's always hit or miss with these people. He's like Gil from The Simpsons, the salesman. Like, old Gil is not, he's not going to be able to make the rent this month. And you're like, and I said on stage, I said, that's like if I were in his office before the show going, I don't think my material's going to work. This new stuff, it's just not hitting. Yeah. I think I better retire. Don't put your fucking problems on me.
Whenever it's a slow weekend, he puts it, he'll put it on the comic where he'll go. I remember one time he said to Tom Simmons, who is one of the funniest comics in the fucking, on the planet. And no one was coming to the shows because they don't know who fucking Tom Simmons is. But that's not Tom Simmons' fault. So Dan says to Tom, he's like, hey, we could set the record this weekend. And Tom's like, what are you talking about? Lowest turnout ever. Like, you just told the comedian that asshole. Right before he went on stage. Like, it's, by the way, that's not Tom Simmons' record. That's your record, dude. He just won the San Francisco comedy competition. This isn't his deal. This is not his record. This is your club. Quit doing that.
It's his weekend.
Hang on. First of all, you have to give me a high sign if he walks in behind me because you have the eyes on the door.
I got it.
So there was one time when I was working, fairly unknown, but there was like a bonus. $250 bonus if you sell out the room.
Right.
They came into the green room and took the chairs from under our asses to fill up from, and
to
then
make
at
sure
the end,
you didn't.
No, because more people were coming in. They didn't have seats for them. They literally took my fucking chair from the green room to put, and told me we missed the fucking sellout by just a few seats.
Couldn't make it.
I go, really? You fucking took my own chair. Where else were you going to put people? And he's like, all right, well, I'll give it to you, even though you didn't really. He's such a fucking absolute maniacal cunt.
He has to be right. That's the thing. Just what you just said right there is exactly it. Like when he says, well, I'll give it to you, even though you didn't actually sell out the room. Like he'll give you the money. That's fine. But he wants you to admit that, you didn't actually. Like he has to be right. He'll
have a line around the building. And then as people are trying to filter in, get in here. We're trying to fucking set up this whole problem with this lady, Dan.
Where were you? Come on. Jump in.
Mic.
This is Dan Conlin, the owner of the Jukebox Comedy Club. Since Dan bought the club in 2000 and
I always say this used to be a Pizza Hut.
No, it used to be a transmission repair shop. There used to be a garage. I know I'm pointing on a podcast, but it used to be a fucking garage door right over there.
When the club first opened in the late 90s, there was just a brick wall behind the club. It was just cinder blocks. It was just a plain brick wall, and they had painted in spray paint Jukebox Comedy Club. And then they had an arrow pointing over to the garage door that said garage door. It was so weird. I see old pictures or old videos, and I'm like, oh. It hasn't improved a lot.
I was
since
talking
then,
about how you used to have Sam Kinison and Richard Pryor on either side, and I'm like, they only made it big because they fucking left this piece of shit down.
I know. Even in Richard Pryor's documentary, he said, when you make money, people in your hometowns, they don't like you anymore. And he never felt welcome here, I guess.
Well, because he's black, and you don't like I don't like the blacks.
They don't like you anymore because they call and borrow money from you, and you say no. I haven't
I'm a white person with a job.
Years. I left.
Oh, whoops.
All right, so let's start with me being fucking angry at you.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. I just totally got sensitive right before the show. Chaille said, "Man, just so you know, you can't record Doug said. And I'm like,
First of all, you had just said that to the audience. Absolutely no videotaping or recording.
Except for me.
Because they're going to post it on YouTube. And I never post anything. I just have it for my own collection. And plus, I miss half of your show. I'm out in the bar half the time. I want to watch what I missed. And once you miss it, you miss it. You can't get it back. Like the lady throwing tampons on stage.
We haven't got to that yet.
All right, but
Don't get
for
ahead of
instance,
ourselves.
that's for posterity's sake. That would be fun to have.
And as that happened, I was running around the room. I left the stage saying, "Wow, I should have fucking let Dan tape this."
Yeah, oh man, it just and here's the
thing.
The thing
Chaille
that bothered
has a
me
fucking
is that
job. That's my tour manager.
He hit you with it right,
and then
that
you
I
got
was
into
pissed,
a pissing contest right before I go on stage,
and that's what I felt
like,
bad about.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. That's why when I realized that, I'm like, God damn it! I stopped the recording and I said I'm gonna have to apologize at some point because that's the part.
And then
that
he started
me.
it back up as soon as Chaille walked out of the
Yeah, I wish. No, but I wouldn't have done
like a
that. But
30-second
it would
gap.
have been a nice show to have. And it's not for none of it goes on the internet. None of it does. But you get moments that you can't get back. And you'd like.
Yeah, you know what? That's true because
that's why Chaille tapes the shows.
Audio recordings.
Recordings.
Can't really see.
Well, first of all, you can't see me leave the stage because
it's a solid.
All right, let's cut.
But I am sorry about that totally, and I felt
so
bad.
I went up in a
after.
fucking rage, like don't fuck with me right before I go on stage, and I'm yelling at you without explaining to the audience what had happened, and I'm yelling at you, go like, come on, I'm trying to remember new shit, I'm trying to remember old shit, I'm trying to remember any shit. And now all of a sudden my fucking tour manager and fucking weird Dan.
That's why I had to hit stop on the thing when I'm like, oh man, he's all fucking pissed.
And Chaille came up and said he shut it off. And then it was all good. And I brought you up and we had a hug.
The first time that you came here, you were pissed. You know, and I'm like, I didn't want this to be the last time. It was when you wanted to invite Ralphie May up on stage when he was in town playing that other.
Oh, I remember
he was playing
that.
He was playing that other shithole. Maybe it was the second time you were here, and I'm like, God damn, I'm getting off on a bad foot with him because I didn't want Ralphie May.
I don't think that was the first time I was here.
It was the second then.
Yeah,
it was late 2003. It was you came twice in 2003.
Because if there was another,
I can
club
tell you
the
this:
first
if
time
anyone
I played there, I
remembers,
would have been
it's
there.
Rain Man. He fucking knows exactly.
Well.
If it was twice in 2003, then Dan's right.
It was.
Your
March
head
and
is filled with
October
Either way,
2003.
that was a
bullshit
fun
like that.
night. Ralphie May came from another club that had just started up, and he came over here after his show, and I think we had topless girls on stage.
This
or
was
some
when
shit.
this was when we were in the sweet spot of the man show being thing, where you said to the crowd, "Well, we're gonna do auditions for what was the name of the girls on the man show?
The trampoline
girls on
girls.
trampolines.
Yeah, we're gonna do auditions. Juggies. We need auditions for Juggies. So just come on up. So we got a bunch of girls to come up on stage.
Yeah,
And they took
7
their
or
tops
8.
off, and then the winner. I'm making air quotes on a podcast. The winner was a girl who
all
showed
the
her
way.
fucking beaver to everybody.
That was the only
She
time.
was the winner.
That was the only time in the history of the club I locked the front door when these naked girls were getting on stage. I'm like, I'm locking the front door. I know that's
So
not
they
safe,
don't get out.
But you and Ralphie were like, the further they went, the better their chances of getting on the show. And then you had 3 or 4 girls get topless, and then the one girl she had an exotic dancer history. She took it down to the
Exotic
bottoms.
dancer history.
Whatever, exotic.
That's the name of
And
my
that
indie
girl
band.
was Meryl Streep.
Actually, by the way, exotic dancer
Now
history.
now you know her as Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
That was
good.
And so I don't know that things like that don't happen very often. And that was recorded on a video cassette.
There's a video of that.
Yeah, but
And
it's
why
not
is
on the
that
internet.
not on the fucking internet? That's something that should be on the
Just
internet.
out of respect. I mean, it's just
It's
happened.
just out of the fact that I can't find it in my
No.
fucking massive hoarded collection of bullshit. I don't know
We
where
have
it
it.
is.
Oh yeah.
But
Put
it's
it out on
somewhere.
the fucking internet. See, that's the thing. You don't want your shit that's new
Yeah.
to get out there. You don't want
But
recordings
the old
of
shit. It's fine.
But yeah, the classics. Yeah, put it out there. But you don't even know where to find
Oh
it.
yeah, I do. Yeah, that's separate.
Are you OCD at all?
Of course.
Like, because Chaille said, no, he does this every week. Or maybe someone said, maybe you said
that.
like, no, that's
He
what he
records
does. He
every week.
records, he doesn't remember to do shit. I know that when there's a line around the block, I think I was talking about this when you walked in, there's a line around the block, the show's getting late, and you're hitting on fucking every girl and doing jokes when you're fucking,
I don't know
hey,
about hitting on.
what's your name? Are you on the list?
But I do
You're
meet.
really
I do
fucking
meet people.
slow
I do
getting
meet
people
people when
in
they,
because
I do.
you're chatting.
I do chat with people when they
You
come in.
chat quite a
you know,
bit.
If it's too much business like, it's like you're just a ticket taker.
You don't want to be like a business. Like you want to be like a business.
Yeah,
I
don't
said
know.
this
I
on
don't-
stage.
I definitely draw a fine line between what makes sense and what doesn't.
I said this on stage, and it actually holds true. I said, how long have you been in business? He said, 24 years. I go, that's how long I've been doing comedy.
We're both.
And I look like I shouldn't be in business anymore either.
I know. I mean, maybe that'll change in a year. I don't know. But
But
we're
what I was
still
giving
here.
you shit about behind your back is you would always just fidget around. When I first worked here, I had no name,
Ugh.
and I was getting a guarantee, and you're like, oh, Jesus, oh, God, I hope we make money. We'll go to radio and hopefully that makes some people come in because I'm going to lose my ass. And I said, that's like if I were in your office before a show going, oh, fuck, my new material, it's not going to work. I'm not funny anymore.
Believe me, it's just with time you learn not to say stupid shit like that for the talent because it's not their fault if people are there or not. It's not your fault. You know, it's not your fault or not if
You
they're
always
packed.
fret tonight.
You know what I mean?
Tonight. You make sure the mic's near your face. Just audio issues. Sorry. No, I'm fucking. I'm
I just
not
don't
good
want to
at
pop my
podcasting.
peas.
He's
Tonight-
from radio.
Tonight, we pull up here at 5:30. I see you pacing the parking lot. I know your headspace. I know you're going, I'm going to lose my ass. Everything's going to
I'm
go
not gonna
wrong.
lose my ass.
I'm doomed. And we pull up, and you say you didn't get the brown paper tickets.
Names.
Yeah, so Chaille in front of you
Mm-hmm.
says, okay, I'm going to email you the will call list
Right. And so then when I
at
went
your
inside,
AOL account.
yeah, I know.
I get
I've had
Hotmail.
forever,
I
I know,
can't
I know.
fucking.
You
I
no
can't-
wait.
I
You've
can't
had it
shit on
forever.
it.
You've had an AOL account.
I'm not kidding.
Forever.
I just got it.
You didn't just get it.
just got it.
He's had it
It's
forever.
a hot
you
new
guys.
thing. I just got it. What
He's
do you
had
guys
that
got?
forever.
What are
So
you
it's
guys
cool.
using?
I got
had it
Hotmail.
forever.
I can't give you
That's
shit.
He's had it forever.
One
It's
so-
bed.
so
It's
ahead of you.
hot. Mail. It's hot mail.
And he sends it to you and then verifies he sent it to himself and you at the same time. He goes, I just got it. Tell me immediately if you don't get it.
Right. I went
We're
inside.
going to go to fucking sushi. An hour and a half later, you go, I don't have the
I
thing.
called him 3 times. He didn't answer.
Well, we're at sushi.
I didn't know. I mean, I checked as soon as I went into my computer, and I'm like, this is getting sort of towards showtime. Please answer your phone. And it all worked out.
That's
Good
a beef
God.
I have with Chaille. Is your
He's
phone
also
on?
fired.
Yeah, it is.
Not
It's
even.
never fucking on. Oh, I must have turned it off. He's just,
Well,
you're for the podcast. It's
The
always
sushi
off for a
podcast.
reason.
oh man.
But
It
then
all
he
worked
called
out.
you and he's like, you go, I can't handle this. I don't. You're breaking down. 24
I am
years.
breaking down.
24 years of breaking down.
I'm breaking down all
But
the
it
time.
always works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I take it personally.
Yes, that's a fact. Dan Conlin takes it personally, you guys. If you make a reservation at the Jukebox Comedy Club and for whatever reason you don't show up, Dan Conlin takes it fucking personally.
If
He will call
He
you.
will find you.
He will find you.
Oh, Jesus.
if
He will
I've
hunt you
talked to
down.
them,
I'm
This is
trying-
not. This is
I'm-
not an exaggeration.
not even
This
close
is
to an
an
exaggeration.
accurate-
It's real.
I stopped my closer trying to not say throw you under the bus because I hate that cliched expression. But I'm going to do an analogy of that to you if I can remember the story. There was a story about you calling some girl in the middle of the fucking night who had called like to try to make reservations on the answering machine. And you called her at like 2 a.m. going, yeah. Do you remember this story at all? All right.
This
Then,
is made up. I
no,
mean,
it's
I've
not.
threatened to
I
do
just
this
don't
many
remember the
times,
details.
call
I hoped
people in
Erickson
the
would
middle
fill
of the night,
it.
but I never do.
That was some weird story. That was years ago. you're a changed man. I don't know.
50%.
No. My favorite is that, listen, if you make a reservation and you don't show up, Dan will fucking call you, and he wants answers. Why are you not here?
Well, how old is the kid?
So
is it whooping cough or is it Ebola?
So then it's if you get this hasn't happened lately, but it happened back in the day.
Yeah, back in the
You
day.
get he would get a voicemail, and then he would leave some fucking hate-filled message like, "You made a reservation for 8 people and you're not here. What the fuck? Like, this is why America is failing right now. People are fucking being like, you can't do this to people. Like, I made a fucking and then he would slam the phone down onto the receiver, shrunk.
So it makes a noise.
And then 30 seconds later, that party of 8 would walk through the fucking door.
Well, okay.
And then he's like, oh. Well, I guess. Hey, when you get home, disregard the message on your machine.
I think that happened one time.
That happened one time.
I can't remember.
Hey, you suck one dick forever you're a cocksucker.
Exactly.
You know the old saying.
Mike, by your
Sorry.
face.
Yeah, man, I have softened it up a lot.
What?
Yeah, in recent years, because now, if I have a conversation with someone and they make a reservation, and I talk to them and I know their name, they're coming, and I say, just let me know if anything changes. Maybe I get a
And
credit
you look
card.
up the girls on
Let me
Facebook.
know if anything changes.
Come on. Who doesn't
See their
do that?
pictures.
Anyways, but now when they don't show up, I'm just like I say, hey, what happened? And blah blah blah, and it works out. But man, there used to be a time where I used to snap way hard, especially if it was a
Dan,
'cause
sometimes when you call people who have made reservations, you don't even say hello. You say, when they answer the phone, you go, hey, what are you doing? Like, that's the very first thing out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Like, that's very off-putting to someone who's picked up the phone.
But
just
so is not showing up for your fucking reservation when you
they're
said you were going to show
a
up.
legitimate excuse. I mean, you should at least say hello.
Like they don't give a
Dufresne
fuck.
party too.
You know what? You know why I do that?
Fucking find you, Dufresne. I'll hunt you down.
You know why? You know why
I'm worried about the Dufresne.
You know why I don't do that? Sometimes, many times in the past, you say, "Hey, it's Dan from the Jukebox
And they
Comedy
hang up
Club."
on you?
Click. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that
I
should
at least
maybe
want
that
a
should
chance
be a
to say
fucking
hello.
clue.
I was on a no-call list.
It's I remember when I would
Jukebox.
rant. Sometimes it was a personal thing. It was always made me feel like this. When you said this is what's wrong with America, I sometimes felt like this is kind of what's wrong. Doesn't anyone have any common fucking courtesy that if they change their plans, they just say sorry, we can't come? I love that shit. I'd say okay. But people that just don't give a fuck about the conversation they had with the owner of the comedy club, and they don't even have the courtesy to say, hey, we can't come now. What's wrong with just having a... You don't have to send a letter by Pony Express to let me know, and it takes 3 weeks. Right.
Express,
You can just go, boop, and then you're in touch with me. Wow, yeah, we can't come. Thanks. We do a seating chart for every show, so all the seating is organized. You have the first table, 2 tables in the room empty right before showtime. Then we're scrambling to fill those seats so the comic's not staring at an empty table of 8 chairs. I mean, there's
all right.
there's
Well,
some
that
little things that
segues us into
anyways.
after I opened the show by yelling at you tacitly. I didn't address the problem, except you knew what I was talking about.
Of course,
I knew what I was talking about. Going, this is my last time ever being here. How dare you fuck with me right before? I was so angry. My fucking hands were shaking like they do in the morning from alcoholism, only now I'm drunk and they shouldn't be shaking. I was that pissed off that you don't pour that on a fucking comic's head 1 minute literally before showtime. So I addressed that. Then Chaille solved that. Then some fucking cunt in the audience.
Yeah.
This is one of those problems where it was so overt that people say, was that a plant?
Yeah.
And in 24 years of comedy, there's no such thing as a plant in comedy. One time at a festival, there was a comic who had a gag where he was a fake psychic.
Right.
And he had plants to play along with the persona. but not a plant to. This
Throw
woman
tampons?
kept fucking yelling, and she's with this behemoth guy. Fuck, I'm a personal trainer. He's just thick neck. I'm trying to think of who he looks like. He looks like a giant fucking, one of those guys from the World's Strongest Man competitions. Right. And she's mouthing off. I'd already asked him what he does for a living. I don't do crowd rap. It was specifically for one bit. And she just starts mouthing off as soon as I talk to him. And he's telling her, like, literally, zip
he
it.
He made the hand motion
the clappy,
of the zip it
the
up.
clappy, shut your fucking mouth. And she kept going, and I ignored her because she's with this dude. I started it, kind of, but not with her. She left for a while. I thought maybe he threw her out. She came back, and on her way back from the bathroom or wherever, she threw a piece of paper at me. I ignored it because I'm in the middle of a bit that this is a 15-minute chunk. It needs to fucking ride.
I don't think you said this yet. There's front and center. They're at that table of 8 in the front of the stage.
Yeah,
there's no ignoring her. She's in part of the light that is a spotlight.
She started making cat sounds at some point. Just kept going, wow, wow, wow. And I'm like, ignoring all of it because there's this fucking Hercules guy. And then she came back from the toilet or wherever the fuck she went, and she, on her way to her seat, threw a piece of paper at me. I ignore it because this is a bit I have to stay focused. Then she sat down and threw a tampon at me. I ignored that. Then a second tampon got thrown at me, and I'm like, fuck you, you have to go. I don't care how big your fucking husband is. You gotta fucking go. And he's shaking his head no, and I'm like I thought he meant no, she doesn't have to go. He was going no, I'm not. I don't even know her. I'm not fucking with her.
How did that happen?
And I'm like, no, you have to fucking go. I'm not going to continue. And then that just fuck yeah. I'm like, no, you seriously. All right, I'll go. And I left the stage and I walked around and I shook hands with people in the audience. Hey, how's everyone in the back? Hey, everything. And your friend, I thought he was a bouncer.
Luckily, security from the jukebox jumped right in and tossed her right out.
No, it was your friend.
I know, because there's no security at the Jukebox Comedy
Club. He had some fucking giant friend who's all water belly, but at least he's 6'7" and
he'll crush her like a fucking watermelon.
I'm like, yeah, go deal with that. I'm gonna go say hi to everyone in the fucking room while you take care of that. And Now give it to Chaille because she gets thrown out. Chaille and I are both, as always, dressed like 1970s anchormen douchebags.
Well, at this period of time, Dan and I were out in the front of the bar, and I'm like, "Do you need to take care of that?" And he goes, "Nah, it sounds like they're doing it." So it progressed, and that guy came out, nicest guy, and he goes, "Hey, she's gonna stay over here." And I'm like, you know what? This isn't my deal now. This is Dan's deal. If she stays because I'd just throw out the fucking side. I wouldn't even let her go through the front. And
I think I made reference to that on stage, that Dan's probably hitting on her rather than throwing her out.
But she sat in the bar and continued to yammer to another guy who we wouldn't even let
in the not part of the show.
That we wouldn't even let in the club.
Yeah. I don't know who that guy is, but he was weird. So he's hanging around and talking, and
the whole time.
Yeah, and I don't know what possessed her to continue to talk about how she was in the right, that somehow if he was any kind of comic, he would be able to handle the situation thrown at him.
They're idiots.
But this continued as Tracy and I are setting up merch.
It's his fault he didn't deal with hurling repetitive tampons at him.
Yeah, what?
Why didn't he have a comeback for that? I stumped the comic.
Doug, this is exactly what she was saying to this crazy man sitting next to her, going like, really? Yeah, you got kind of a point. And it's like, what the fuck? How is this? And this is how and it is continuing as we're setting up all of the merch. And we got a lot of merch. It'll be available at DougStanhope.com after the tour. We've got all this merch set up, and it's like, motherfucker, she's not going on to the next topic. It is continuing along this line. And then right before you end the show, now she's out of the showroom for like 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You're wrapping up, and she comes up to me, and I'm standing at the T-shirts. The show is still on. You can hear it out there. And she goes, hey, I'm leaving now. And I go, well, good night. She says, just so you know, and sticks her hand up there and goes, no hard feelings. I go, none taken. And I would not shake her hand. I said, good night. And then she's like, no, really, no hard feelings. And a guy comes up to her and goes, you know that's not him, right? He's still on stage.
She thought
I
Chaille
was
me.
As you're talking on stage, as you can hear as the doors open and people come out and get drinks.
I didn't see that happen.
And she's like looking at me and going like, this guy's fucking with me. That's him. And I'm like looking at her just going, this is just fucking leave.
Maybe we add this in as an addendum to the podcast, much like James Inman last night, who's just got out of jail. Post podcast. Some guy at the end of the night, I found the piece of paper she threw at me initially. As I was closing, I looked down at the tampons, and then I have to see what this says. And it says, it has her number on it. It's just a business card with no business on it.
Yeah, just
it's a blank
business card size card, but nothing written on it.
She has business cards that have nothing on them. She just writes whatever she wants.
Yeah.
It has her number. Fuck, does anyone remember her name? Hang on.
Ardell.
Ardell, yeah. Ardell, good. Oh, you did fucking hit on her, Dan. You did hit on her.
I was watching.
He's already got her number.
When you gave her number out at the end.
You didn't watch my show when I was fucking with you.
Yes, I was.
It says, call us. Us. What, you and the fucking Hercules that dismissed you? I have a penis, which is her sense of humor. And it gave her number, which is 309-267-3946. So I found that fortuitously at the end of my act. I looked down, and I just had everyone break out their cell phones.
What was that number again?
309-267-3946. Here, have that. Put that in your mailing list, Dan.
Yeah, got that.
Bring her for every shitty act you bring in.
Jeez.
Anyone who's...
The Untamed Shrews will love hanging out with Ardell.
Man. Hey, you guys.
So everyone on the just immediately started calling and texting her, and they will continue to do so.
Yeah, so she was sitting at the bar after the show going, why is my phone blowing up right now? What's happening? What's going on? You guys, what?
Yeah, some guy goes, I fucking look. I don't have my reading glasses on, so I couldn't see his cell phone. I go, look what I wrote. I go, I can't see it. He says, I wrote cunt. And then she wrote like a full paragraph back. I go, don't.
Oh, man.
Don't. This is what I told him. I said, that's not clever. Don't say cunt. Say you're Dan the owner. And I'm sorry for the humiliation that comic put you through.
Come back next week for the
You
Untamed
have
Shrews.
free tickets. Oh, my God. So I did tell a guy that. So someone was going to be texting her that she has free tickets
be here
to
next
every
week.
show.
At least I have her number now.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, if that call comes in, I'll ignore that one. Be one of the few that I ever ignore.
No, you won't ignore it.
Okay.
She was Peoria hot.
Hey, get back to it.
Get back to what?
Brett.
What?
Oh, Brett
What?
Erickson's
What about
fucking.
I gotta go do some work and
Oh, okay.
What?
love you.
What do you got to go do?
He's
What
gonna
work
go
do you have
do
to go
shit.
do?
Give the microphone back to Chaille.
I don't know
We'll
who's out in the bar.
continue talking behind your back.
Probably robbing me silly out there.
All right. All right. Dan Conlin, everybody.
Dan Conlin,
the owner of
Jukebox
the,
Comedy
Jukebox
Club.
Comedy Club.
All right, quick break.
You're listening to the Doug Stanhope Podcast. This is Chad Shank, and when I'm at Stanhope's, I drink plastic Jug Vodka.
'Cause there ain't no other option. Plastic Jug Vodka. What's your favorite brand? Tweet me at Doug Stanhope or tweet Chad Shank at HD Fatty. That's H.D. Fatty. Hyman Doberman Fatty with a Y.
Hyman Doberman.
I don't know. Sex! Ah! Rulers of the underpants universe! Sex! Ah! Keep your balls off your legs and such.
Sax underwear. Don't have sweaty balls.
Was that good? I don't know. All right, you know what? Fuck this. Do a station ID.
We'd like this message was brought to you by Doritos. What?
No, your name, lady.
Roseanne Barr and Doritos. Crunchy corn chips, bitch.
Hey, we're back. Brett Erickson. Fucking
Yeah,
that's
he's
why
here. He's a person.
I was gonna say that anyway. I wasn't
Okay,
before. I was
he's gone
pissed
now, guys.
at Dan.
We can talk about him.
No, I was gonna say this is my last appearance at the Jukebox because you're leaving, and you're the only reason I fucking continue to come here. You have Brett Erickson has dated us so much. Because we don't have kids. We're all child free. That's why we're happy. But when we first met Brett, he had small children, one who's an adult now sitting here drinking legally.
Weird, right?
As soon as my youngest kid is fucking old enough, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And you just think that's a fantasy when you're young. Yeah, that day'll never happen. It happened. And now you're fucking moving to L.A.
Going.
It's going to be fucking brilliant.
Unless Dan kills me first, which is possible, dude.
Could be.
He's a weirdo.
No, we won't release this till you're on the road.
Yeah, please. Give me like 3 weeks head start, man. Wow.
He won't leave the parking lot. You don't have to worry about that.
That's true.
He might kill you.
Plus,
locally.
he has AOL, so he can't get podcasts. His fucking... When Chaille had to send him the thing, you know, the
guest
whatever
list, the will
the
call
reservation list was or whatever, it was to AOL.
.com.
He's on AOL.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Listen,
no,
I'm a
I
fucking
didn't get
retard when it comes to technology, but I get it that AOL is a thing that's done, that's over with. That doesn't happen. He's the last one. He's
I
the
do
last
have Hotmail,
one.
so
My mom's 81 and she's on Yahoo.
Yeah, she's way past. Yeah. Dan
so
Conlin,
you
everybody.
leave here, Brett Erickson.
Yeah.
Heading to when do you get to L.A.? I know you're coming to
Whenever
Bisbee
you
for
let
a
me
while.
leave Bisbee.
We want you to stay. I
All
already
right,
have
Dan.
these visions.
You guys
of
heard it. You guys heard him say it.
Verbal contract.
I have visions of retiring after this Australian tour at Thanksgiving and then go, fuck
That's it.
Let's,
I'm good.
Let's try something else.
If we could figure out a
Stand-up is
way,
boring to
listen,
me.
I have no illusions. If I could figure out a way to survive, I don't
No, we need
comedy.
illusions. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I know I could do stand up forever and just beat my fucking liver into some piece of fucking beef jerky.
Let's just figure out another trick to make money and
Yeah, I was jokingly talking about making my Eddie character from Louie into a YouTube weekly series with a bad laugh track where I never did kill myself, but every week I'm trying to kill myself and I fuck it up with
Some
an
wacky
awkward laugh
hijinks.
track. Yeah, we should. I fucking
he
don't
can't
have
tie
any.
a knot.
I have no.
It just comes loose. You hang yourself, it comes loose, you fall on the floor. Damn it!
I joined the Boy Scouts as some elderly pedophile.
Not interested
Just to
in
learn.
you.
No, I'm not a pedophile. I'm trying to learn how to tie a knot. I can't hang myself. Wow! Laugh track.
Perfect.
But I don't. There's no fucking comics in Bisbee. So you have ideas, but you work them out with your fucking drunk friends.
You and
there.
Derek.
Yeah, Neighbor Dave. Like Neighbor Dave's not really gonna chime in and make this thing fucking go forward. You need the catalyst. Okay. Oh no, that's a good idea. We gotta do that. You go, should we do that? Yeah, we should do that. We don't have that guy.
All
So
right, then.
we'll probably try to keep you there like
I'm fine with that.
Motel Hell.
I have no there's no
Buried
end
up
date
to
on
your
any of it.
neck with your vocal cords shut.
Here's the best
Motel
part.
Hell is a very dated reference.
By the way,
applaud yourself if you got that reference.
here's the best part. We just talked about Dan Conlin, and he just left the room, and that's fine because he has business to take care of, which is
Hey, he took
complete bullshit. By the way,
He did take Ardell's number.
of course he did.
Oh, yeah.
Of course he did. He's calling her right now to ask her why she did not honor her reservation. But I forgot.
I'm
what I was
really
just gonna
happy
say.
I'm not going to work here again.
Yeah.
I always said that one of my high points where I felt I made it was when I never had to work Lisa Grigsby's room in Dayton,
Oh
Ohio.
my
again.
God! Remember Lisa Grigsby's room was when they
Home
would
of the
sell
ultimate bachelorette
the ultimate
party.
bachelorette party. They would sell dildos and fucking like noisemakers and shit to the crowd before the show.
in the
Here,
lobby.
take a fucking butt plug and a noisemaker and sit down for a comedy show.
Not like hardcore things, like
Funny.
a dildo that clips onto your tie, all the shit that bachelorettes wear.
Like the
Little
veil
tiny-
with little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a
yeah.
Spencer
So instead
gift.
of being the bachelorette party that just showed up at the club with all that shit, they would sell you that shit when you got there.
Or if you decided you needed more shit,
Got it. We
once
got
you got there,
we got you
you
covered.
could re-up
We
with
got
dildo
you.
paraphernalia.
It
Totally covered.
should have been called the "We Will Never Like Doug Stanhope Comedy Club." Yet I kept getting booked there, and Lisa, I love.
Well, Lisa's great. Lisa is the one person when I was trying to make money on the road, which is a difficult thing to do when you have no name at all, and people will fuck you all the time on gigs. You know, Comedy Zone fucked me a million times over. Oh, you're the feature? Oh, well, guess what? Fucking Pablo Francisco is bringing his own feature this week. We just found out. You're fucked. Sorry, you don't get your money this week, and you know.
Cut you loose.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Lisa Grigsby had me booked for a weekend, and Paula Poundstone was headlining. And then she found out last minute that Paula Poundstone didn't want anyone to feature. She just wanted to do the whole thing herself. So Lisa Grigsby calls me to tell me this, and as I'm like going, "Oh fuck, I'm fucked." Like I need.
Well, you're already out there.
I need
right?
this. Well, I hadn't left yet, but I need the
You need the
$500 or whatever it is that I'm gonna get. And she goes, "Listen, I'm still gonna pay you. You just don't have to come and do the gig." I'm like, whoa, what did you just say?
Paid
Like,
vacation.
Lisa, right? Like I had never had that
no
happen
comic gets
before. I had
paid
never,
vacation.
ever had that happen before. Lisa Grigsby did that.
Fantastic.
Like she was straight up, like without even a question, she did that.
You didn't have
So
to pay-
she's a fantastic person.
And she's the only reason I worked the worst
Yeah.
comedy club
But that-
ever.
But setting up the room the way she set it up was a fucking terrible idea.
Yeah.
She didn't make
because
you like paint a fence or something when you got there.
I never got there. She
She just
told me I
sent
didn't
you
have to
the
come.
check?
She sent me the money and don't even bother to show up. So I
Good
came
for her.
here and did and I got paid for. I basically ran a scam. I got paid for not playing there and playing here at the same weekend. So.
Yeah, Dan doesn't
Lisa
know
Grigsby's
I'm
a
really
good
not going to
person.
play here again. Because really, you are the only reason that I
Well, that's a very
look
nice thing
forward
to,
to
say.
coming back. And your gal, Mitchell,
She's all right.
she's fucking great. That's why I was asking. Well, this is not for the podcast. I'll ask you afterwards. So what are we at? That's a fucking podcast, right?
Yeah.
Is that
Zach, do you have anything to say about your dad before we close?
How awesome he is.
We tried it. You know, you have to say it on mic if you want to say something. Oh, get on mic. Hang on.
I have another good story about Dan.
All right.
All right. As Buckets,
You
this
get
is
yours
my
together.
son's buddy,
Have a
Buckets.
seat.
Buckets, have a seat. So here's
hold
another.
on a sec, guys. I just got something from Carrie Mitchell. Apparently, that gal Ardell has
Ardell?
been sending out massive texts to people who have been texting her.
Really?
And it's quote, "Who gets kicked out for throwing tampons on stage? Me. Only in Peoria. If you were a real comedian, you would be spontaneous and know how to make it a joke and have fun. Not this prick, although funny and vulgar, and it's all an act. As he planned out, he didn't have a plan other than the usual act. So with that said, you ain't shit.
You ain't shit, Doug.
I'm not shit.
I punked you out.
She punked me out.
Tested. Here we go. Tested you. You fail.
I failed.
Not part of the act.
F minus.
Oh, wait, it goes on?
Oh, I'm halfway. On this text, there's another one after it. Not part of the act. On a whim, he was stumped and didn't know what to say. Let me take your stage and I will take over your show, dick.
Ooh. She
People
should
have-
open for you, dude.
Oh, here we go. People have told me my whole life, even my family, to write down all I have to say. That coupled with
Instead of saying it is what they were trying to tell you.
We're tired of you. Write it down. That coupled with the instant comebacks and crazy shit I say, well, I could honestly outdo him, and he is famous. What the fuck?
You are famous.
What the fuck?
I guess you're famous.
Ardell.
Oh, hold on. Here's the second one.
Oh, there's another.
So here's
Don't answer yet.
Now-
There's more.
So here's the deal. Tomorrow night at the Jukebox Comedy Club, I have Brem invited, a.k.a. begged, to come tomorrow night, come complete and perform and be myself and talk about real shit and perform. I am taking the challenge. Let me do this. I'm a natural, vulgar, real, God-given performer. Let Ardell do this. Who had my back? And that's it.
So I guess this is one night when Dan should record the show.
I say get ready for another mural on the back of this.
Fuck. Sorry, Rock Island. I just canceled tomorrow night. I'm going to be fucking front row center.
Yeah, she won't be here, though. That's the
she
thing
won't.
about that kind of thing. Whenever anyone says, fuck you, I'll come, I'll do comedy the next night, they're not coming the next night. They'll wake up
Drunk
tomorrow
fucking
and be like, oh,
bravado.
I should have never done any of that stuff.
Yeah, so I guess everyone is they're getting through to her. Every time I
Yeah.
call her,
Oh,
it's
no,
voice-
Hey,
That's
listen,
box
we
full.
did give
She's
out her
ruined.
phone number, which she
Give it out
gave to
again.
me openly, so I don't know if there's a legal thing. She flipped that
No,
at the
she-
stage.
Yeah.
Don't be a fucking dick and go, you cunt. Be creative. Just say you're Bud Friedman from
Pretend
the
you know
Improv.
her. Pretend you know her from fucking third grade.
Listen,
and-
we
Saw her at
you.
the jukebox.
Yeah, sorry.
Be
Saw
a-
you throwing Tam onto the jukebox. Thought you were funnier than Doug
Be
Stanhope.
a talent
Get her-
agent. Be a critic. Be anything. Just make up a unique thing to
Right.
text her with and just fucking ruin her life.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, back to Dan.
Back to Dan. All right, so before Buckets jumps in here and tells his Dan story, let me just give you a quick. We've talked about how crazy Dan is calling, because here's the deal: people will make a reservation, and then if they're not here on time, he'll call them and yell at them, which is weird. It's a weird thing that people do. That-
It's kind of funny if you don't know Dan.
if you don't know the
As an irritant.
hatred with which he does it. But so here's another thing he did. So when you hear me say he calls people back who don't come in for the reservations, you think, oh well, that's kind of, whatever. But here's how fucked up he is, and how it can all backfire on you, and just where his mindset is. I was headlining one week, and one of my friends, Emily, called for a reservation, and she called at like 3:30 in the afternoon, and Dan didn't answer. The answering machine picked up, but it was Dan's voice on the answering machine. Hello, this is Dan from the Jukebox Comedy Club. Hey, leave your name and number and the number of people in your party, blah, blah, blah. So while that's happening, he then also picked up the phone and started talking. Hi, this is Dan from the Jukebox Comedy Club. So to my friend Emily's ear, there's two Dans talking to her. So she's like, well, this is too much. So she hangs up her phone and she calls back immediately, right? So when she calls back, it rings, and then Dan picks up the phone. Hello, Jukebox Comedy Club. And Emily says, hi, I would like to make a reservation for Brett Erickson's show at the club this weekend. And he goes, yeah, and you could have done that if you wouldn't have fucking hung up the goddamn fucking phone on me. And she's like, whoa, 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 what? Here's another one. Now that you got me going. Last time I headlined here, I had a friend from high school. Her name is Monica Robbins. She's a wonderful woman. She made some reservations. So she calls in. She lives back in the town I grew up in, which is about 60 miles away, and it's a different area code than the 309. So right away, he sees this area code on his phone, 815, and he's like, well, this is where Brett lives. So he, of course, whenever anyone makes a reservation, he calls them back to confirm it. So he calls this person back.
In the middle of the night.
Yeah. Sadly, it was on their way here. So he calls her, and he's like, hey, are you coming to the show? And she's like, yeah, I'm coming to the show. And he's like, is this Monica? Yeah, this is Monica. Are you coming to the show? Yeah, I'm coming to the show. And then he says, oh, you're from the 815. Do you know Brett from growing up? And Monica says, yeah, I went to school with him. I've known him since kindergarten. And then, if I was not an atheist, I would say God is my witness. The next thing out of Dan's mouth was, did you suck his dick in high school? Are you fucking kidding me? You just said that to a fucking person? Like, she's on her way down here with her husband and other people in a fucking van, and when she gets here, she tells me this whole story. She's fucking mortified. She had him on speakerphone, so this is in the fucking whole van. This is in the whole van. Did you suck his dick in high school? Are you fucking crazy? This is a person who wants to spend money at your club. So this is the Dan Conlin that we're talking about.
That's what you why? How has he been open for 24 fucking years?
Because comedy works, but barely. You should
barely.
Wait, come here for the Untamed Shoes on Saturday. We'll see how barely it works.
All right. Bucket list. What's your name?
Yeah, buckets. Yes. I had a similar experience to Brett's friend. I called this afternoon, and at first,
Buckets is one of Brett's son's friends.
Yes.
From the sorority.
From the sorority, yes. We're in the same sorority. I called this afternoon and I got the voicemail at first too, like Brett said, and then all of a sudden Dan answered. And instead of saying, hello, Jukebox Comedy Club, like I was expecting, he said, what's up? And I was like,
Did I get the wrong number?
I was like, yeah, is this the Jukebox Comedy Club?
Hi, Dan.
We're fucking with you. Don't worry. It's not going to stop.
I was like, is this the Jukebox Comedy Club? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, we have some underage people here, maybe. Me and Zach are both 21, but we want to make sure everybody could get in. I was like, is this a 21 and up kind of deal? Can we all get in the club and see the show? We want to come. And he goes, I don't care who all my customers are. It's none of my business. And I said,
here he comes.
It is
Come
all,
on, Dan,
it is all ages here.
It's all ages.
Yeah,
fine.
there was a fucking 13-year-old kid with braces in here.
But we wanted to make sure before we skipped class in the afternoon and drove 2.5 hours to come down to wherever the fuck we are in Illinois and watch the comedy show.
Hang on, Dan's back. You answered the phone, what's up?
He said, what's up? So,
hang on, grab the mic.
I answer the phone differently every single time I answer the phone.
He's got a new act every night.
It gets so fucking boring saying Jukebox Comedy Club. Hello. Yeah. It's just and everybody was calling. Yeah, which is
it's boring.
I'm not professional. I own a comedy club.
I called Dan today just to find out what time showtime was, just to be sure, and he answered the phone. He said, "Sup, nigga." That's not true.
But what did I say about the age? I don't care how old my customers are. I don't know how old my customers are. I don't really care.
It's none of my concern.
I don't care.
I just run a bar with a liquor license. Yeah. I don't care how old they are.
I said I don't care unless they want to do something that requires a 21 or older age. So, and I said in the United States you have to be 21 or older to order alcohol in the United States. So. Otherwise, I don't ask people for their identification cards.
So you use that same soliloquy every time, but you answer the phone different. Hey, Domino's Pizza, I don't care how old my customers are. Is this the comedy club?
They asked me.
Did I just say Domino's Pizza? Of course it's a comedy club.
Get it?
The best part is when I said, we're going to come to the show tonight. And he goes, well, put down the bong and go buy the tickets.
That's funny. I'll give Dan a fucking high five on that. That's funny.
He was right, and then you actually put down the bong and
We
went and
actually
bought
put
the
down the
tickets. That's
bong,
the weird part.
And we drove to Peoria, Illinois.
That was right before that, though. I looked at the clock and I go, "It's 4:20. Put down the bong and get your tickets," because it was late in the game. If you're going to be driving from Chicago,
Buckets, you left out a critical part of the story. It was 4:20.
It actually was
He's working the
4:20
material.
when he said that, and it was funny.
Yeah, and you were also
Dan's
smoking
not
a bong.
all bad, just the things we say as soon as he's out of the room.
The only part I feel bad about is that they call me Buckets, but my name is also Dan. So I feel like he's
No one
bringing
cares.
shame
You're
to the
Buckets,
name
all right?
Dan.
Just
But
go
yeah,
with
everybody calls me
Buckets.
Buckets for sure.
I'm sure there's a
He's gone
backstory, but no one will care for a lot of years.
Yeah, that's true.
If you-
That's very true.
Yeah, if you have to call up and say, "Hey, I'm underage," then no one gives a fuck about your story. You don't have good stories till you're 50.
Yeah,
I hope I hit
mean-
that age.
maybe.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Brett Erickson is coming to Los Angeles via Bisbee.
Yay! Boo! Boo! I
We're
predict
talking about a lot of
earthquake.
things. We've been talking in the car. As soon as I come back at Thanksgiving, in my head I'm retired. You never retire from comedy, but I don't want to keep doing. I don't remember the last 5 years because I've been in a cycle of doing this part of the country and that part of the country and maybe the UK every 2 years. I don't remember anything because I'm just going to the same fucking places. I don't remember things or people. I
Yeah, but
gotta
you
do
make it
something
sound
weird.
like you have this like monotonous. I just did it again, whatever. You're like going to Australia, and then you're planning on like, oh, then we might go to New Zealand and hang out for a while.
We
Like,
are going
dude,
to
you
New
have the
Zealand.
That's
fucking
booked.
life. Like you could go to New Zealand, and you can go out to where there is no ambient light, and you can just. You don't even need mushrooms. You can just stand there and look at the fucking stars. It's like Panama. It's like the desert. Like New Zealand is the fucking place. And
But
you get
once
to go
you've
there
done shit
because of your job.
I know, but I don't.
That's
I
fucking
have no
great.
interests there. I'll be in a bar there. I've
You'll be-
at 24 years. I'm in a bar. The temperature is
could
always
tell you
about
it was New Zealand outside, no
69,
matter where you were.
68 degrees. I'm in a bar. I go to sleep. I wake up. I'm terrified that the crowd isn't going to get it. I think, I want to fucking do something different. So yeah, I want to just fucking jump into a cold pool of doing something fucking different. And you know what? As much shit as we talk about fucking Dan behind his back, he'll have me back.
Oh, yeah.
I can make a living. I just want to do something different and weird so I remember how these years are going by.
Yeah.
Your fucking kids are gone. They're fucking off into the ether. They're adults. You're going to
Yeah.
fall into my world.
It might be a boring, pointless life, but it's our boring, pointless life.
I know. I want to make it a new, boring, pointless life that I'm terrified of.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And now
All
you
right.
have free time.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yep.
If Mitchell lets me.
All right. We'll talk about that after the podcast. Hey, thank you, fucking Brett's kid. Our wives, Ggreg, Chaille,
Buckets.
Dan. What's his last? Conlin?
Conlin.
I never knew his last name. All right. I'm glad we did this.
Good times.
That's a podcast. Hey, our guest always gets to
Hop off vodka? Oh, wait.
No, you have your own sponsor. Tell me something you like, and we're sponsored by whoever you like. Take a minute.
Something that I like.
Yeah, don't
Um,
worry. You can quietly think about it, and Chaille will edit out the dead air.
Do
that's
you want to read your?
interesting. I know what. I already know. Misdemeanors. It's a shot with Crown Royal and butterscotch schnapps. It's delicious.
Wait, hang on. One more time. It's a
It's-
shot
it's
called a
misdeme-
misdemeanor?
It's a misdemeanor. It's Crown Royal
Yeah.
and butterscotch.
Let's
and
do
it's
that.
delicious. And it's the Jukebox Comedy Club shot nom de plume. That's probably not the term that goes there, but it sounded right. Because our bartender, Rob Scroggs, who is the greatest bartender in the world other than Carrie Mitchell, it's the only shot he knows how to make. So that's the one we do. And it's fabulous. And
What happened to
that's
Taryn?
my favorite thing. She's married to Drew Hastings.
What?
Yes.
No!
Yes.
Oh, my life is over. Everything about
That's a
my
good
life
end.
is
That'll be the start of the next podcast. Yeah. Taryn Hastings, you mean?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm running for fucking mayor of Bisbee.
She's married to the fucking mayor of some town in Ohio.
I know Drew Hastings. He's a fucking brilliant comic.
Yeah, he's fucking fantastic.
Bingo. I'm sorry. I have to go younger. Get out.
Taryn's not younger.
She's not younger
She's
anymore.
Not younger.
I guess she
or
aged
better.
too.
She's certainly not wearing a band fucking
as
marching
Emo
band
Phillips
outfit
said,
right now.
I guess he would have aged too. All right, I gotta go. Get out of my house, you fucking filthy perverts. That's a podcast brought to you by Misdemeanors. Hey, Chaille, play the Mattoid.
Party time. Party time. Party time. Party time. Drink your drinks and eat your eats. It's party time. Laugh your laughs and heat your heats. It's party time. Smile your smiles and blue your blues. It's party time. Dance your dance and shoe your shoes. It's party time. Howl your howls and suck your socks. It's party time. Oh baby, grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. Grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. Everybody, grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. One more. Grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. Here we go. Party time. Party time. Party time. Yeah. Party time. 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 Hey. Party time. Yeah.